Another vlog? 2 vlogs in one day? Can I hear a yes? That was the stupidest intro ever. It was the lamest thing. I don't care. I felt like vlogging again. Second time in 3 hours. So that's what I'm doing. Yay! Right? No? Okay. So, in addition to my ramblings about Cam Rambles, I thought I would ramble on about some of the stuff that I'm writing about right now, which interests me. Probably don't interest you till you read it in a couple years on a bestseller list somewhere, and you're like, sounds kind of familiar. I think some idiot told his telephone about it, and I listened to that. Anyway, so the book I'm writing now, pretty cool. It's kind of gonna set up the rest of all of my literature forever and ever, amen. In that, I want to write fantasy, like, it's not just gonna be like epic fantasy, Lord of the Rings type stuff, but some of it's gonna be, but like spies, thriller stuff, mystery, I guess a little romance, maybe, war, all kinds of, I have a thing about mixing genres, which is what I do, basically. And all of them are going to have a fantasy, kind of thing. Not magic, because magic has ethical whatevers to it, or whatever. Whatever. My idea, though, is that I came up with, I guess, last night or something, is that when you see a mythological beast or something, I've been trying to figure it out for a long time, because they're Christian novels. It's Christian, based stuff, that's supposed to be entertaining, but also kind of show you ethics, sort of, from a perspective. And I want to do that, but I wanted to use, these creatures, like, fantasy elements as metaphors. And I didn't quite know how that would work, because some of the elements of fantasy are deemed, to be kind of unchristian. But I think I kind of figured it out, maybe-ish, a little. So, here's the dealio, schmealio. That's my term. Whatever. So, like, in this universe or whatever, part of it is going to take place before an apocalypse, and the rest of it is going to take place during and after. Which kind of, the whole apocalypse is kind of a metaphor for humanity at this point, because there's stuff that people think is right but is not right, but people are totally sure that it is, so now it's totally fine, or something like that. That's kind of what's going to be highlighted. Hopefully I don't get killed for that. Like drugs, drugs not good, but people think good. Drugs legal now for some reason. Like, things are bad, but the government's like, yeah, you can do it, whatever, I don't care. It's not good. But pre-apocalypse, like, there are fantasy, creatures, whatever, vampires and some such of that sort, that are metaphors for different bad things. Like, vampires are, addiction, because they need blood to survive, and their livelihood is based on the destruction of others, which is kind of like drugs, really. And that's not usually how vampires are viewed. Vampires are viewed as, just monsters who have to kill people to survive, and they don't care about that. But it's kind of this is trying to take it from a different perspective because there's so many stories about people who were addicted to drugs and stuff like that who turn their lives around. So, like, vampires, obviously. I'm not saying drug addicts are vampires. I'm saying that in my weird little mind, I see a little literary connection. You know? So that's kind of how that picture is going to be painted. And that's just for that species, if you will. But, like, this is how that's going to work. Before the apocalypse, these things are going to exist on their own. And then when the apocalypse thing happens, they've been kind of in hiding because civilization has risen up and there are no more places in the world for them to hide, you know? Like, in the past 500 years or whatever, we've discovered every continent and all that junk. And we've conquered all the land, and there's, like, no place left that isn't touched by civilization. Right? So that's places where these creatures could hide or whatever. So then they have to, now that the world is full of people, they have to descend underground. So they're leading hidden lives. But then, after this apocalypse, or as I think I'm going to call it the fall, they kind of spring up, if you will. And normal people start changing because it kind of mirrors what they've done, you know? Like, their sins are branded on them. But it's more of a metaphor that the bad things they do turn them into monsters, essentially, because that's real life, basically. But it's a metaphor. It's confusing, I know. My brain doesn't make sense to me. I mean, there are other things. The sirens, or sirens, whatever they were called, in, like, Greek mythology, were metaphors for seduction. So, I mean, there's that. That's already there. That's an easy one. Gambling, you can think of something for that. There are all kinds of addictions and bad things that you can easily draw a metaphor between that and something that scares you, you know? So that's kind of what the stories after the fall are about, is about how the world is becoming okay with evil. Like, evil is just fine now. And how some people are against it, and they can retain their humanity, if you will, and their ethics by symbolic cleansing, I guess. Which I think is a great idea. A lot of people won't, probably, but, you know, a lot of people won't catch it, they won't get it. So that's good, but they'll still like it, so that's also good. But, like, you know, I want to entertain, and I want to have a message. If people just get the message, great. If people are just entertained, you know, good enough. Because, it's scary, really. Because if people figure that out, you can get in a lot of trouble, I think. Because everyone gets offended by something. But this is stuff that has to be addressed, I think. This is the way I can address it, and also have an excuse to use mythology and stuff. Because I'm a lazy bum, and because I like that. Not crazy about offending people. Kinda, like, I care. But it's the truth, I guess, or something, I don't know. This is a weird vlog. But it's, risky. Risky stuff. But, that's your job. Essentially, my job, not yours. Maybe yours. Do you write books? Tell me, that'd be cool. Just putting, a message out there that's powerful and gripping, you know? It's the point, really. At least in my opinion. It's good to entertain. It's good for people to read your stuff and to be popular for it. But I think what really matters is to get your point across. And that's what I want to try to do. Don't hate me for it. Just don't read my books, I guess, if that offends you. But they'll be exciting. They'll be really good. The book I'm writing now deals with some of that stuff that's more obvious. A book I'm gonna start working on called March to Oasis. A little less obvious and a lot longer, but still hopefully very good in that regard. Still gonna work on Rusty, which is not it's about Rusty essentially, that character that I've droned on and on and on about. But I'm calling it We Are the Shadows now. It's morality and the ethics of doing what you've got to do, what you're told to do, what your instincts tell you to do, revenge, all that good stuff. Really pushing the envelope on that one. I got so many ideas and so many metaphors in my head. My head is a metaphor jungle. Get it? Because that was a metaphor? Because the jungle is a I'm done. I'm as confused as you are at this point. I don't even remember anything I've said this past, several minutes of vlog. Okay. I think I'm done with that. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the fridge monsters bite again. There's a chance there'll be a third vlog. What can I say? It is a lot of fun for me. But, yeah. So, think on that, I guess. Anyway, yeah. Okay, bye.